Hi, welcome back to MikiCarrBeauty. I'm Miki, and on my channel I love to talk about luxury skincare and beauty. And today I will be reviewing and trying on the two palettes and blushes from the SHOUJITSUKI pre-summer collection. It released a while back and I'm finally getting to my video, but it's this beautiful one here with the warm tones. It's like a warm blush, but a cool with the green, and then the one that has mauve colors and the pop of yellow. So if you're interested in seeing the demo for both those quads and blushes and getting my final thoughts, then keep watching. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe and click all for the notifications, and then comment and like below helps out engagement on my channel. And with that out of the way, let's begin. A little bit. So here's a little bit of information about the SHOUJITSUKI pre-summer 2023 collection. This is one of my favorite releases out of every year. The pre-summer, the spring, and then the summer collection. This one was curated by a makeup artist, Jorge. And I'll put his IG handle here so you can see. So this pre-summer collection is based on sunflowers, and it's actually called Sunflower Wonder. And here's the promo pics here. Strong sunflowers bloom with dignity against the summer sky. Unwavering and full of energy, they gaze upon the sun. As the seeds ripen, the sunflowers bow, creating a different and more shadowy depth. Yellow, orange, and green represent the petals, leaves, and stems. These vibrant summery colors have a touch of smokiness and inspire an exquisite color palette with a hint of melancholy to create a deeply elegant and mature expression. So there are two signature color eye quads that came out, and they're both limited edition, and I'll start with the first one here. 123, and the name is SHOUJITSUKI, Sun Yellow and Warm Pink. This palette contains warm colors inspired by sunflower petals. A perfect pairing of yellow gold with a reduced brightness combines with a more shadowy tone to create a complete and balanced look. And the next one is 124, NICHIRINHA, Sage Green and Light Olive. This palette of smoky green colors is inspired by sunflower leaves. Use these shadows to create a chicer and more stylish look. So this would be the sunflower on top, and these would be the leaves on the bottom. Very beautiful. And then I did not end up getting the Tone Touch eyes here, which are a cream eyeshadow. I don't do super well with very emollient cream shadows. I just didn't find, at least for me, these colors to be very appealing. But that was just me. One is an ochre brown and one's a dark brown. And I just worry that these are too emollient because I already have hooded lids and then oily lids. So I passed on those, but I did pick up the Pure Color blushes. Both of them are limited edition. So these Pure Color blushes are limited edition, reflect the deeply powerful color of sunflowers in bloom. The pearl rich blush and the matte highlighter creates a three-dimensional effect on the cheeks to dramatically enhance the facial features. So the first one is 138, HYUUGAAOI, Shimmering red brightens any skin tone with a flattering finish added by the yellow matte highlighter. And the second one is 139 KAFUU. Chic brown with a mauve highlighter creates a cool and striking look. The natural colors combine well with more vibrant shades. And then it also came with two limited edition vibrant rich lipsticks, 116, 117. 116 is a soft orange brown, and the second one is 117, a natural beige. And I actually have so much Suqqu lip products. I have probably 15 plus of the lip fogs and glows, and about, I would say, 4 to 5 of the vibrant rich lipsticks, which I actually have on today. So I decided to pass on those because I want to use up what I have already. So let's talk about these quads first. This is one I have on my eyes today. And I've done actually several looks of these, and I'll show the demo of this. I think this is a fun quad. Some people got distracted by these yellows. So if you just cover up this yellow pan, it's actually a pretty neutral color story. So I'll kind of show you what that looks like. So I have actually used these three on more of a daily basis going to work when I don't want to use the yellow. But the yellow, the first look you'll see, the demo, I actually put this on the mobile lid and I showed you how I amped it up. But you can also tamper down that yellow by putting that topper glitter shade on top. So that's kind of what I did in the video. You'll see that this yellow is actually pretty muted, but you can definitely build it up. I actually, this summer, as it gets warmer, I actually want to use this all over my lid for a yellow look. But then again, if you want to just kind of cool it down a little bit, I ended up just combining the topper shade here and putting that on top. And it ended up having like this kind of yellow pinkish shift to the look, which was really, really fun. And 124 was the one a lot of us were coveting. I love greens and purples on my channel. I actually have a dedicated playlist for green shadows, which I'll put up here. The sage green and light olive are just gorgeous. This duochrome color here, this brown, is so wonderful. I've actually used this as a one and done to smoke out a couple times, and sage green and the olive here, such fun colors. I love it. And so I'll show you a demonstration of that. I really love this quad, especially this smoky multi-chrome. It's such a gorgeous deep color. The equivalent on the other one is not as duochromy, it's a little bit more flat. So the one in the olive palette is definitely more original. This is more just a regular mauve shimmer matte shade. And then we have the two limited edition blushes, and this quad corresponds with this look because of the yellow. And I actually have it on today. You can see where I used the deeper color back here. This is very pigmented. If you have not used their Pure Color blush formula, I would say go ahead and try it. I know a lot of us were disappointed, the melting powder blush. Some of us are disappointed that it's being discontinued, but this formula is just as beautiful. It's just different, and their blushes never disappoint me. I just love this this Pure Color blush formula because not only do you get the blush here on this side, which is this color here, you on the other side you get the highlighter. And then if you want to just combine the whole look to get a tequila sunrise, you can definitely do that. So in a way, it's kind of like 3 different products in one packaging. So I love that. I would say out of the two, this is the most pigmented, and I actually do have the yellow blush. It's very subtle. I think on me, it actually works pretty well. At first I was like, this is gonna look like jaundice, but I think because I have a warm undertone, it works really well. And I can see as I get more tan through the summer, this is gonna look really fun. I just think it's a fun shade. And that yellow, I actually here did use it on the inner corner here as a pop. So, you know, you don't have to use that yellow, but there's ways you can use that yellow shade subtly if that kind of scares you. Okay, and then the second blush, KAFUU Chic Brown. I love this one. I was actually almost not going to get this, and I was like, oh, I should just, that's the thing about Suqqu, you never know until you try it. And I almost didn't get this. and it's this beautiful, beautiful shade, and you can combine them if you want. But it's almost like a blush contour, bronzer shade, at least for my skin tone, and you'll see in the demonstration just how beautiful this looks. This is also going to be a beautiful summer blush, and at some point I actually want to try this on my eyes because there's almost an iridescence on this that I could think this could be a beautiful one and done as well. If you're interested, they might be still available at Selfridges, Harrods, or Liberty London. Sometimes they show up on, I think, Cult Beauty, and then there is another internet vendor called Ichiban Mart. I think it's a Japanese one, but if I can find these, I'll put the links below, and I'll put the email for the Suqqu Selfridges sales associates below. So we'll move into the demos now.
some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
Okay, beauty fam, I'm going into my final thoughts. I love this second look. It's clear to me that the green palette and the brown palette is my favorite one. I think this is the one that sold out the fastest. And if these are still available, I will put the links below. But for sure, this is my favorite quad. I paired it with the blush that it comes with. I almost didn't get this, but this is the wonderful thing about SHOUJITSUKI. I almost think they do blushes even more beautiful than the eye quads. So even though they're discontinuing the melting powder blush, the pure color blush colors still have a shimmer to it. If you can see, I tried to just do that deeper color as the blush back here and then try to isolate. Usually on this side is usually the highlight, but you can certainly swirl this around and you just get a kind of a more of a luminous blush. I think this is perfect for summer. I am looking forward to using this blush kind of like almost like a bronzer. I didn't even include any bronzer in this look because I think that would be overdoing it. This is kind of like a perfect, like a reddish brown, at least on my skin tone. I think it's so beautiful. I had a choice of SHOUJITSUKI lip products that I wanted to try out. I actually finished this with the pre-summer 2022 Fog lip liquid lip in 109 Kyo Rimagaki, and it is a brown orange color. I think it suits this look really beautifully. And for the final eye look, I just finished with the MAC Giga Black on the bottom and then the Chantecaille Faux Seals on the top. But for my liner, it really pulls the look together. I actually used the Chanel Stylo Yeux waterproof in the color Celadon, and I'll swatch it for you here. It's like a kind of a deep forest green. It's a beautiful color. It's got a little bit of a shimmer, but not glitter particles. And then I tight lined the bottom with this beautiful chartreuse. I love this color. This is the House Labs Optic Intensity Eco Eyeliner in the color Chartreuse Matte. And chartreuse is one of my favorite colors. Actually, it was one of my wedding colors. An unusual wedding color choice, but I'm not typical about my color scheme. So this is definitely a duochrome. I don't know if I can show it to you. It has like purple and brown and some blue underlays, and I'll swatch this. So This color is also a one and done. So I've actually used this quad. This is the third time I'm using it. I actually did 2 other looks where I just used this brown color as a one and done, and it certainly could just be done as a one and done smoky look. It is so beautiful. Where can I swatch it here? It's such a deep color, and I think for those of us who are medium to tan, this is like a perfect color. If you're fairer complected, you have to go definitely pretty, like, you want to be a little bit careful over this because it's such a deep color, but for those of us that are deeper skin tones, this is a lovely color. It reminds me of a powder version of the Phytosurgeon's Deeply Rooted. And Deeply Rooted has, you can see it with, it's almost like a cream duo multi-chrome, and it has, let me see if I can swatch this here. Yeah, it reminds me of that. It's got some taupey elements, some purple, some blue, and actually some mauve in there, and teal. So I could see myself even using this as a smoky one and done on a night out, and then actually using that Pat McGrath Intensifies wand. There's definitely some multi-chrome. There's particles in there that are, you know, that are purple, and there's like some flecks of green in there. And then they have this, which is more of like, it feels more like a satiny matte. This is the green one that I use over my entire mobile lid. And then I use this on the inner half of the mobile, and I actually, for this eye here, I tried to see what it would look like with just these two. So it looks very similar, except this is like definitely more chartreuse, which is so fun. I don't think I have any chartreuse in my makeup collection. So it's a very unique color. It's a hard color to do. I often find that when I'm looking for a chartreuse color, you're really treading the line of something like a pea soup green, and you don't want it to look like a pukey pea soup cream, like vomit. Certainly is not. I think it's because it's the Suqqu formula. It's just so pretty. And to me, this reminds me of, I know this is a pre-summer collection, but this reminds me of spring. I'm literally looking out my window right now, and we're in spring, and this is the color I see a lot in the Northwest, and actually you see a lot of this in Southeast Asia with the rice fields. You see the color chartreuse, and I love it. I love chartreuse enough that, you know, I have this matching House Labs color chartreuse, and that's why I grabbed that color, because it'd be fun to put together. I love this quad. And this one is kind of like the glitter topper. You don't have to use it, but it was almost, it's like a shimmery blue, so it kind of cools down the look, and I put it in the center of my my eyelid here, the mobile lid, just to make the center pop a little bit, and that's always fun to do. I like to do that with the Suqqu. Actually, I'm pretty messy with that. I try not to be super precise with Suqqu, and the thing about Suqqu is you don't want to overblend. That's the thing about the formula, is that it's not the kind of formula where in Western, in my opinion, in Western application, that you're going to pack on and then windshield wipe. That doesn't work well for Suqqu. It works well if you want a very light wash of color. It reminds me of, that's the look you're looking for, kind of like Surratt, right? So light wash of color, but because obviously I'm here in the States, I'm looking for more of like an east to west kind of fusion, where this is a Japanese company where the aesthetic usually is a light wash of color, but I want to use the pigments on here. So what I do is actually, I tend to take a color like this, and I don't ever really rub it on. I just really pack it on like this. And the thing about it is painting, kind of like dabbing, right? You see that? So that you're building up the pigment more. And I just find like that works better for me. I don't do this because you can see if I just take it and then swipe it back and forth, it's a different kind of application, whereas like for this, you're building up the eyeshadow. And for me, I find that's the technique I like to use with Suqqu products, just because it's the effect that I want. And I've often taken Intensifies wand, that Pat McGrath Intensifies wand, this if I want more of an impactful Suqqu look. And that is the trick with Suqqu, that some people don't like it. It's hard to get, but moreover, some people don't like it because it's not like a typical Western brand where you're like waiting for instant pigment and payoff. It's not, that's not what the aesthetic of Suqqu is. So you have to remember it's a Japanese brand, and that's kind of more maybe the aesthetic happening over in Asia, but I like to do a little of both. Okay, so hands down, I would say this is my favorite quad out of this pre-summer collection. This was curated by Jorge, and he was on Instagram and he actually released and kind of previewed these collections. And I really am convinced that the pre-summer collection is really, it's curated by a makeup artist in the UK, so it's, I don't know if it's actually released in Japan. If you know, let me know below. I think these are really geared towards more Western audiences, but I'm here for it. Anytime Jorge comes up with the color stories or the pre-summer, it is my favorite collection out of the entire year. Pre-summer and then summer. Fall tends not to be my favorite just because they tend to be really muted and really not impactful, and those tend to be like warmer colors, which I'm not really into. And then the winter collections are kind of hit or miss. So for sure pre-summer is my favorite. Let's move on to the other quad 123, which is this one. I think this is not going to be a fan favorite. What I found is that I actually don't like all of these colors together, and maybe I just need to play more with this. The whole collection is based off of the sunflower, and maybe I just need to isolate this and play with it myself. Like, it throws me off a little bit. Like, I get the three colors here, like these are pretty. I think that's a nice color story. And I actually did a look later in the week after my first application of these colors. It reminds me of like, that is like spring, kind of a spring summer. As like I'm looking out my window, I'm seeing more cherry blossoms and purple. Those go together, but this added on just like confuses me. So I could see myself using just these three often, but ignoring that. And what I did with that first look is that you saw me use this in the mobile lid, like on top. And what I did is, and I'll show you here now, because I just got really confused of how to use this. I'm gonna be honest, I just not sure if I'm completely bought on this color here. So I wasn't sure how to use it. So what I did was just, I took the topper shade, which is like kind of like this frosty pink, and then I started layering it over it, and then it just kind of chilled it out a little bit, that it wasn't as much of a yellow. So it's like a yellow with some pink on there, and that to me looked like a nicer look to me. There was like a nice shift. So that's what I ended up doing with this. So I don't regret getting this, but what I do notice is that with this shade here, this burgundy one, on my lids, it just didn't look as pretty, but maybe I just need to smoke it up. I might have to use it another way, but I still think this is a beautiful color story, but this does confuse me a little bit. The blush 130. Again, this is probably the one that you use more as the blush, and then on this side is usually the highlight. Or you can certainly swirl both of these together to get a certain effect. I am not convinced of using this yellow as a highlight. I think it was good for like an editorial look, but I just can't see myself going into it on a daily, and that's just because it's probably out of my comfort zone. So I would say for sure the green quad with this blush are my favorites. I'm so surprised of how beautiful this is, and I was disappointed and sad when they said they were going to discontinue the melting powder blush, but this pure color blush is beautiful. I would say if you were asking me which one should I get, I would say definitely this blush and this quad. And then, you know, if you want to try the other two, you could get, but I would say, like, if I only had to choose one set, it would be that set. So I'm happy with this look. Let me know what you think. I'm happy with this. To me, it looks very summery. I'm wearing green. I feel like I use some of that shimmer shade here, just kind of a bronze up my look. So, and that's it. So let me know what you think of this pre-summer. Make sure to like and comment below. It helps out my channel and engagement. And make sure to subscribe and click all so you get notification of all my videos when they go up. So, and as always, please be very kind to yourself and others, and just be you. Take care, beauty fam. Bye.